Good morning, Coach Scheyer.
How you doing?
Coach Ellis, Primetime Scouting, Sports Shop, recent came at. Good morning. Thank you for being here, Coach. Two quick questions, if I may say one. What did the great one I call him, Coach K, what did he mean to you, sir?
Oh, Coach K, I mean, he still means the world to me. I mean, he's the person that instilled belief in me at 16 years old. He's done it time and time and again, including when I was 33 years old and named the next head coach at Duke. We talk all the time. He gives me advice. We talk basketball. Here's our practice a couple days ago. It's great just to have him in my corner. I mean, I feel really fortunate to have him.
My son, L. Ellis, played for Louisville a couple years ago. You gave him a very hard time.
Yeah, well, he gave everybody else a hard time. So,
but Coach, what is your main motivator for life, sir? What makes you live and breathe? What makes you go?
You know, I think in the day, you know, like after we go through the season, you kind of step back and think, man, why am I doing this, or what's the purpose? And I think, end of the day, the biggest thing you can do in life is build strong relationships. You know, and that's what it's about. So, you know, family, of course, comes first. But for me as a coach, just being able to impact these guys as much as possible. That's why I'm proud of the fact that these guys have come back. You know, because how do you build a relationship if you're not able to go through some adversity together?
Yes,
and so that's what it's about for me at the end of the day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, obviously the Final Four is the highest level of competing.
Yeah.
What did you take away as a coach being in that position, playing in that space last year that can help you?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, that's the holy grail, you know, of college basketball, to be at a Final Four. And, you know, obviously it was, there's either two outcomes. It's either glory or it's heartbreak. There's no, to me, there's no in between. And when you sign up year over year as a coach or as a player, you sign up for either one of those things. And the further you go, the more it's glory or the more it's heartbreak. And unfortunately for us last year, it was heartbreak. Most years it's heartbreak. And all I know is the more you put yourself in that position, ultimately it's going to happen when you put yourself in that position, because naturally you learn more, you understand the margin of little things aren't little things, you know, attention to detail, all of that you carry forward with you. But for me, I'm not going to let a moment define that team either, you know, what they did at the same time.
What are the expectations, I guess, maybe even the role, and just talking about the development of someone like Isaiah? How key is he to the success of what Duke can be this year?
Well, obviously, he's going to be a key part of what we do. I mean, that was the vision, and him coming back and taking the next step in terms of just his consistent impact and his impact on other areas of winning besides scoring and shooting. And he's got an amazing weapon that we don't want to just, you know, keep the same. We want it to be enhanced, which he's worked on. But the most important thing he's addressed this is his defense, his off-the-ball activity, his rebounding, different ways to get to the to score. You know, particularly by the end of the free throw line is a big thing. So he's working hard right now. He's had a really good approach, and just got to continue to keep that going, and we have to help him do that.
John, now that you've been doing this for a few years now, obviously you've had big shoes to fill. Are you having fun in a way? Like, does the pressure, like, you're clearly just yourself. You've always been really comfortable, but are you having fun in being yourself and just this job being yours now?
Yeah, I'm definitely myself. I think there's no question about that. You know, and I have to remind myself to have fun. You know, I mean, just because, you know, you feel the responsibility and the decisions you make on a daily basis. You know how important they are. But no, I have fun. I mean, listen, end of the day, you're going to look back and say, how good did you have it, man? You're at Duke University, you're coaching basketball. That's what I do every single day. Get to work with amazing guys, you know. And so for me, I just want to continue to lean into that and really max out whatever we can do. But no, I'm having fun. I'm having fun when we play defense. You know, I have fun when we share the ball and take care of it. But I have fun. I have to remind myself to have fun in the process of it too.
Mm-hmm.
John, you touched on it a little bit
What-
when I asked you in there. What is the different challenge of kind of incorporate 5 returning guys with all the new guys compared to what you had last year, where basically it was a new team except for Tyrese and Caleb?
I think simply put, the 5 guys returning. You know, what last year's group, or actually two of the 3 teams I've coached, we've had 2 brand new groups, and then we had 1 group where we had a lot of players return. There's no such thing as like, where it's my turn now, or it's just going to happen now. You know, everybody has to earn what's going to happen, and so when you have 5 players returning, 5 new players, everybody has to earn it still. Just because you've been here doesn't mean that it's just your turn now where you're going to play or you're going to start or whatever that means. It does mean that you can take the experiences you've had and be better for it. And so really relying on these guys for their leadership and for understanding what it takes, I think that's the most important thing.
But there are different chemistry challenges, aren't there?
I think naturally that's the case when you have a brand new group versus players returning and players coming in. The great thing with our group though is they've really embraced one another. You know, I mean, end of the day, I think you have to try to do that in the recruiting process as much as possible, where these guys understand what they're getting into, who we have, and so it's total transparency in that regard. So I think that's really helped. And then you have high character guys, and they've come together, and we just have to. Our 5 guys from last year can't think it's where we left off last year. And we went through our struggles last year with getting to that point. And so that's no different from this year with where we're at and what we have to work towards.
John, part of the following up on the fun aspect of the job.
Yeah.
What's the least fun aspect of the job? Is it the turnover? Is it the searching for guys in the portal? The recruiting is obviously a fun part of it to a certain degree, but with all the roster turnover in this day and age, how much more challenging is the job, and where's the fun?
I think the hardest part, or maybe the least fun, if you want to call it that, is the fact that now everybody talks about the turnover and how difficult that is. I think it's less the fact that you have turnover. I think it's more about the fact you don't know who's going to be coming back. So even if you had great turnover and you understood, you knew these 4 guys were coming back or these 3 players were coming back, you can make better decisions. So instead, you end up having to play a little bit of a guessing game, and you try to put a percentage on it, but you can't say for sure. So I think that's the most difficult part of not being able to anticipate what rules look like 5 or 6 months from now. What players could be returning in 6 months. That uncertainty is the toughest part.
Does that make it challenge or opportunity?
It's both. It's both, right? I mean, if you can learn how to make decisions in this environment of such uncertainty, I think it's a huge advantage. I think we've done a great job of that, but I think it continues to get harder and harder, and that's something for us. We're just trying to stay ahead in terms of the process of how to make decisions. You're now no longer offering a scholarship. The reality is you're offering an NIL compensation in addition to a scholarship offer. So there's a lot more that goes into play in terms of the decisions that you make. So I think that's a challenge, but it's also a tough challenge.
Yeah, your predecessor obviously is more closely connected with West Point than you are. But what went you to the decision to go there, to play there, and do that?
It started with 2 main things. One, to honor our veterans, to do this on Veterans Day. At Army, what a special thing to be a part of. That's an incredible honor for our players, our staff, our program. And then the second thing is to honor Coach K. Like this is about the 2 schools he's dedicated his life to. And so he's going to come with us. He better show us around a little bit, give us a little tour. I think it'll be an electric environment, but it's really those 2 things. And then the third aspect for us was to play an early road game. And I didn't know at the time we'd be playing at Michigan State also. So we got 2 of them, but that's neither here nor there. But it's all those things combined.
Did you absorb a lot of the Army stuff playing for him, working for him? I assume it's kind of like an associate's degree in military
It
side.
is, and Coach K. I mean, every year would teach us about things he learned in training, his time at West Point, and I think if you look at, I think it's a little bit. It was really true for who Coach was, but our program through the years, I think, replicated or represented. I think just the discipline, that you see, at our West Point or in our military, and that definitely comes from his background.
You said you didn't know that you were going to be playing Michigan State at that point. How did that game come to fruition?
Well, Michigan State, we love Coach Izzo, man. A lot of wasn't seeking this game out. From the COVID year, we had played this game at home during Champions Classic. We played this game at home, and we basically said we return the game, and we're returning the game.
Is there something about this year's team? We know last year's team was great. Is there something about this year's team that stand out that you say, hey, maybe we're a little bit better than in one area that maybe last year's team didn't have?
Yeah, I really don't think that way. I think it's more about, are we maxing out to be at our best, to be in a place where we can beat anybody this year? And I think there's some similarities. I think the size, the versatility is there. We have all the ability. Like it's not about that. I think it's about the chemistry, coming together, understanding how to win in key moments and time and score, and just learning, just speeding up that process. But I think there's no limit on what we can do. I think it's a matter of just putting it all together. But I'd rather not, or I can't even compare it because that's not, just like the year before, I didn't compare it to the prior team. I think it's about this year, what we're doing, and how to be the best version of maxing this team out.
John, you talked about it on the podium. Can you just expand a little bit on the 98% and what you're trying to preach to the guys day in and day out?
Yeah, I just think I use an example, like the thing that the mental approach to the game. I think the thing that messes players up the most is missing shots, turnovers, or when I say missing shots, also making shots, right? Either way. And the reality is, if you're not in the right gap position, if you don't rotate and give up a three, that's the same value of making a three. So really just understanding, teaching our players to find their truth, understand what impacts winning, and it's really the 98%. I can go through any example from last year's team to any team I've been a part of. The best teams I've coached or played on are the teams that embrace and excel in the 98%. It's the rebounding, it's the next play mentality, it's the defense, it's understanding time and score. And so we teach it in real time in practice, we watch film on it, and that we're consistent with that message.
And how have you seen players respond to it this offseason?
I think they responded great, seen a lot of growth from them. I think it's a big adjustment when basically every single one of our guys coming from high school, they have the ball in their hands a lot more, and that's how they're viewed, that's how they're judged, that's how sometimes rankings are based off of the ball in your hands. When the reality is, like a huge misconception is, if you're trying to get drafted, high usage is not an advantage, it's a disadvantage. NBA is looking for guys with low usage, guys that know how to play without the ball. And so that's something we just try to paint the picture of their ultimate individual success is going to be based on exceeding the 98%. And at the same time, it's going to be what helps us win basketball games.
John, Louisville significantly improved itself last year by bringing in Kelsey. This year, you got 4 new coaches in the league, 3 of whom have already established themselves as winning coaches. How much better do you think the league is going to be this year?
Yeah, I think the league is going to make a big jump. Genuinely, I believe that. I think stylistically, I think just how teams will play, and look, Pat did a great job last year. Part of it's just the math, right? I mean, when you shoot that many threes, the math game adds up in their favor a lot of the time, right? And obviously for us, we were the #1 3-point shooting team, and getting shots at the rim. So I think strategically, there's that aspect. I think these coaches are very good, but then also you have to have good players. And so I think the investment you've seen schools make, the recruiting, I think it's a significant talent jump in our league. And I think that's going to show up this year with teams in the tournament, our non-conference record. And so, yeah.
John, a lot of that talent in flux and investment is in
Can I
international.
move this? Is this movable? I feel like it's. As long as you guys know who I am. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of that investment was international, but I think there's more than 20 coming into the league this year, former international
Right.
professionals. Number one, how do you see that influx influencing the league, and do you think it will continue as we move forward?
Well, I think it's definitely going to make a positive impact. You have, I don't know eligibility-wise, the 20 plus that you named, what year they were, but whether they're freshmen or not, they're not going to play like freshmen